T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Welcome to another chill review. This time it's going to be fans' hobby, Meg-Tyranno MB-17, which is part of their ongoing Master Builder series, which we know is supposed to be Transformers Masterpiece. These figures right here come to me by way of Matt Partsformer. You thought I was going to say Matt the Bot Supplier. Matt the Part Supplier. This is his. He wanted this because it's some nostalgia trip shit or something. And then he didn't want me to miss out on being able to do this review. So, thank you. Thank you so much. Well, as you can see right here, this packaging is positively oozing with retro flavor. Read all of this by pausing. See all of this with me right now. Or pause. See all of this shit right here. Look at that. It's compatible with all your old Minicons that you've been keeping for over 20 years for some reason. I think that reason is because I'm a hoarder, but yeah, this box feels better than what we got back in the day. It's not that flimsy cardboard, it's actual real thicker cardboard. That's just the window, same as always. I hope this is resellable. Hey, look at this printout, high quality gloss and all that. First impressions, this felt very heavy in the packaging. The box was heavy, felt like die-cast, all that. In hand, this thing just feels like a toy. And one thing that I do like is these treads actually work. You won't, there you go, that's how you see it. Yeah, I don't feel any die-cast in this at all. But I'll let you know when I transform it. I don't think it's any die-cast in here. And something's rattling around. I'm gonna have to find out what the heck that is. But yeah, I'll be back. So what's in the box? You get, what's his fake name? Meg-Tyranno, who is this big tank. You get an instruction manual right here, which is fully, colorfully illustrated with everything you need to know. You get these safety measures right here, which talks about this extension piece to his cannon, which I am kind of reluctant on putting in because it seems like the process is irreversible and I need to put the batteries in there first. You get this collector's card with these stats on the back. You get 2 changeable antlers, which I already changed. You get a replaceable mouth and nose plate, which I already changed. You'll see it later. Don't worry about that. You get 4 of these little missiles. I already put 2 in. You get light up eyes for if you put lights in his head, because the eyes he has are painted. And you get his Minicon, which we know as Leader 1 in the official toy. Yeah, boy. Let's get this out of the way first, this comparison. This guy pretty much is almost an alternate reality Armada Megatron and not Armada Megatron. There are so many differences in his tank mode and the robot mode that it's pretty much not even the same character anymore. Like, the cannon looks different. The weapons on the front of the tank are different. Like, these two are not the same thing at all. This ramp right there is not the same. He is an H tank, like he's shaped like an H, while this is a full-on filled-in tank. Things up here are different. Like, everything that can be different is different. But it's enough similarities to put in your mind that, hey, that's Armada Megatron, because you see these spikes barely hanging out right there. While meanwhile, this guy definitely had some cow catcher action going on right there. But if you want to see all of his features, go check out my Armada Megatron shield review. I have two. I have another one that is not really Armada Megatron, the Combiner Wars one. But even this, in the cartoon, these right here were orange, just like this original toy. Like, there are a ton of changes while it's still the same. So I almost kind of don't even look at this as being a masterpiece Armada Megatron. It's just a masterpiece scale, alternate reality Armada Megatron. Close enough, but super different. But you've seen what the thing looks like. Let's go into the features. This lifts up, it goes down, and it rotates all the way around. Now, if I had batteries in it, I could push this in and it would light up. I'm not sure if it makes sounds, but I don't have the batteries. I didn't know it even needed batteries. Over here, what's rattling, they have a missile launcher in here. Right there. He has Minicon ports, 4. And a good thing I have this out here to let you see that you can put the original Minicons on there. And you can port the new Minicon or their version of the Minicon on here because they have the exact same ports. There you are. Now with this rocket situation I just pulled out, you pull this forward, which is very stiff. Pull that forward, and we can go ahead and lift this up, bring this out, bring that out, and you can go ahead and attach this to that right there. Back here, we can pull this out, and I'm going to show you what that does later. Does anything else? Wait, before we pull that out, we can bring this out. And now we can have this out so that, like I said, up here, we can lift this up, and there's this in there. We can bring this out and bring that out. It does not go down, it just sticks out. And we can have this up, and we can bring this out like that. And this right here opens up so I can have a little crane arm. None of this makes sense. I don't see Megatron having a whole bunch of just sitting here while Minicons use him as a base or battle station. And now we can move this out, which makes that shoot up, as you see. And those little missiles I showed earlier, you can push this, and they do shoot out and shoot on my floor. Lost forever. So you can see it up close. This is what these little missiles are. They look very similar to the G1 toy pellets that came with the G1 Megatron gun. But over here, if you have a Minicon that has wheels, you can set it right here and push this button, bring the vehicle back, push this button, come on bro, push the button and launch it off. But so you can see everything else this is supposed to be interacting with. You saw this. You can go ahead and pull these off to the side right there. Bring these down. Put these cannons up here. And bring this back. And I went ahead and rotated his his head around, but they don't tell you have to do that. And just so you can see the arms are separate from the little wheel thing. So we can have them forward. But basically here is their version of Leader 1, the Minicon. He does have this long ass kibble hanging off the back of his arms that does not fold up or hide away. Yes, his head is on a ball joint, so it does that and rotate. The arms, the shoulders are on a ball joint, but basically they just go forward and bend at the elbow, G1 style. He does actually have an ab crunch, a Minicon with an ab crunch. The legs go out that far, and they do still bend at the knee, even with the guns back there. So that's cool. No ankle pivot or anything, but you can have him manning this thing right here. He can be over here. Let's see if I can make him sit down. You can sit inside of this, because there's a chair there. Of course, you can have things riding down this ramp, depending on how wide the wheels are. Those wheels are wide. And then if you have like a little car or something, they can be being grabbed and trapped inside. And I believe the final thing to show off is this can open up, and Minicons can hide in there. So there you are with that. And for anyone that needs help, this needs to fold in that way. Wait, with this back like that, basically. And then we can get that in there. I'll push this in, push that in, shut this, shut that. Bring this one in, that, bring that down. And this comes off. We can push these back in and just sit that in there. This needs to shut, and you can pull this lever over and close that in. Pull this off. Shut this. Bring things into this orientation right there. Shut that back in here. Shut that. Close this and that. And he is back into a tank. Here he is next to Fantabi Buzzer, which is an MP size vehicle. Here is Masterpiece Ratchet right there. So yeah, I would say he's definitely roughly in scale with an ambulance. And for my special cases out there, there's always somebody that wants to see what does he scale with classics, and I mean with generations and all that stuff. He is huge compared to this Leader Class Grimlock right here. Why won't this thing stand up? Stand up. There you are. And now for my favoriteest part of any third-party Transformers review, the transformation. Here's what you need to do. You need to pull this away from there. Once we get that away from that, we can lift this up. And this can rock back and forth to get it out of the way. You're going to probably need to do that over and over again. But we can move this up and bring in this right here. Lift that there and shove this in here. Same thing on the other side. I'm going to move that out the way. But pull forward and this can lift up. This panel can rotate in. Shut that and push this up under there. And now, I'm going to just let that dangle down. But right here, we can pull this apart and lift that up. Lift that up. These, I am going to rock this back right here. And we can rock this back. so it can clear his antlers. Shut this on the way in, but rock this back, shut this down. You can't fully close this until it gets past his antlers right there. So there we are with this. Now up here, you need to push this up and shove his treads in. Same thing over here. Lift that up, shove the treads in. And now we can, with that out the way right here, lift this up. Same thing on this side. Lift this up. But before anything else, let's go ahead and lift this up. It's only barely touching this right here. Rotate that around. Rotate it around to get it out of the way. And now we can lift this all the way up and shut that. Lift this all the way up, shut that. Separate this and go ahead and elongate all this right here. Pull this out, and now this can bend at this hinge, so I can clear that and straighten up and come down here. Bend this up. Oh wait, we need to move that out. These is in the way. Shove this down, and oh yeah, inside of here, look at all this printed on or tempo detail, so that the Minicons in there have something to look at. That is cool. But anyway, shut this and shut that on top of it. Shut this, shut that on top of it. Then we can bring this down. Up here, there is a little panel right here. Push that back. Bring the toe forward and the heel back. That becomes his foot. Same deal over here. Bring this up. Bring the toe up. And the heel down. That becomes the feet. Now, right here, we need to pull this out. Pull that out. Before we do anything else, bring these flaps down because they get in the way. You can rotate the waist around right here. Bring the arms back till they crack, and I'm gonna leave that like that for now. But basically, this too, this needs to be shoved back. Start bringing this down. You can open these little things right here and shut this. One of his little antlers came off. This is how you put them on and take them off. They're pegs on the side of his head. Now back here, this is going to be difficult to show. See this thing right here? Oh boy, how am I going to do this? There is, I can't show it to you. And in the instructions, they can barely show it. But basically, there's a little groove that you have to flatten this on. When you get it in person, you might be able to see it. Let me see if I can turn on the flash on this. Can you see that little gray thing? This needs to go into the groove over here. When you do it right, you do it right, and it'll sit there. Now we can shove these together, rotate the hands this way. And the shoulders need to rock back as far as you can. But basically, now he is a robot. Right here. The hands, you can do whatever you want. I already have them in the fist. The thumbs look weird as hell. I don't know what's up with fans' hobbies and fans hobby and thumbs, but they need to get it together. But let me try to back out a little bit so you can see his whole body all at once. He is very tall, and those shoulders make him even taller. In fact, let's bring this back out from the special cases. Here's how Grimlock is next to this. Is that a good scale for you? And here's Leader 1 next to him. And here's the original Leader 1. Not that much taller. Well, let's show you the differences with this. This guy doesn't have kibble hanging off of his arms. He doesn't have any elbows. His hands are permanently bent right there. He has no neck articulation. And the legs are pretty much the same except the hips don't go out. And you do see the wheels right here. So, yeah, that's what they're looking like. He does have one more mode. Put his arms down. I like to just go ahead and turn the head around so you don't see it. And shut this cover. And there's a little peg. Where is it? Right here. That goes into his leg on the side. Do that on both sides. We can go ahead and take this out and that out. And he has a little 5mm. Well, he just has a peg right there. But now he is a gun. And you can go ahead and slot this into Meg-Tyranno's hand. And here he is wielding this. But let's let you see him, if I can. You saw him standing straight up. Let's get close in on some of these details. Here are the feet and how they work. Here is the back of the legs. And yes, because, well, I'll show you the articulation. He has these side skirts. These. And like I said, there are so many liberties taken with the design to make him, like, I guess, legally distinct that he looks very different. The ab area is definitely, and you'll see when I bring out the original toy. Of course, your toy will not have Decepticon logos on it. These are toy hacks with the next repro labels or repro labels, however you want to pronounce them. Oh, yeah. One cool thing you can do with this right here is you can rock this forward, and then it has this handle that comes out, and this rotates right here. You can open his fingers up and make him grab this. So he's like shooting off his cannon right here. So, he does have these knives that come out. In the original toy, it comes out the center of his hand. He has them on both sides, and they are sharp. Let me zoom in on the head. Here is the face. Highly similar, but even still, there are some differences. And look at the antlers, because I'm going to change that later. In fact, let's change it now. So I'm going to rotate his head, pull these off. Go ahead and peg these onto the side. Right here. No, come on. And here are these antlers. So, I don't know, they're the same length, basically, but they're just different shapes. I like these because in the cartoon there's more shaped like that. And he does have a different mouth, which you can just, let me see if I can rock that back. And his face comes off at the bottom. Sheesh. Last time I did this, I took his whole head off. His head is on a ball joint, but I don't want to risk breaking it. It took so much effort to pull that face off, even with the spudger. But here he is with this face right here. I can't tell if he's laughing or yelling, but there we go with that. He does have a button right here in the top of his head. And let me make sure I show the back of his head. Well, last minute addition, I realized I had these batteries sitting around, these right here, from my X-Transbot Scourge. And back here he has 2 screws that need to be removed with a very tiny Phillips screwdriver. Do that. And these are the most helpful instructions ever. They show you which direction the battery should go in. Isn't that lovely? And if you unscrew it standing up, it will disintegrate into these pieces right there. So be warned. In fact, the button fell off and now I hope it's still up here. Where are you button? I'll find it. This button is booger small, so yeah, open this over top of some flat surface and make sure you're paying attention. Here's one problem I'm running into. These little metal clamps that are used to touch the ends, is one on the top, one on the bottom. They're pinched too tight for me to get that in there, so I had to push one up. I hope I didn't push it too far. Here are the eyes that are painted. That's what it looks like. Unpainted, painted. So you do not have to switch out the eyes if you don't want to. And warning, put both sides of the head on top of the ball joint here before you actually screw it back together, because it doesn't just pop on like a Marvel Legends. Alright, and here he is with the other mouth plate.
Yes, I'm evil and I use an anime voice in the show. I talk very fast.
Here he is next to Make Toys Galaxy Meteor, which is another Unicron trilogy dude. And here he is next to my masterpiece MB-36 Megatron right there. So he is slightly taller than him, as you can see. And I said there's no die cast in him, but he is definitely heavier than both of these robots, especially this one. And because I have her in here, here's my Big Firebird Toys Nicey. Alright, articulation. The head is on a dumbbell joint. So you can get this off just the ball, and it can rotate, but it can actually rock back like that, rock left and right, tilt forward till his chin bumps, and yeah, so that's how high up he can look, which is alright. The shoulders, they rotate that way and go out to the side like that. I mean, you can move these around how you see fit to pretend it's still attached to his shoulder. The shoulder disc going out like that. You get bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. The wrists rotate. Each finger is on 2 joints that bend like that. This thumb is whack. The thumb sits there and just swivels right here. It's on the ball joint, but you don't get a ton of range out of that. And did I show it rotate? Oh yeah, and you can open the hand up like this and make it look like that ugly claw situation that he had in the original toy. And oh yeah, I gotta bring that in, don't have to do a comparison. If you want these move right here, you can detach his transformation joint and give him kind of a butterfly action right there. The waist. Oh boy, what is up with that? It's hard to maneuver this guy. It is frustrating maneuvering his upper body. Let me be honest with you on that. Because of these right here, because of this, it is tough to move his upper torso. But he can rock forward right there, rock back, and it can tilt side to side. And this thing right here, trying not to move that is tough as well. But You can kick the legs forward that much. They can go back all the way, go out to the side. He does have swivel here. My leg right here, I had to put shock oil in there because it would not rotate. I put 2 dabs right here and it rotated. The knees bend this much, and look at that. You have this coming out when you bend it. Because of transformation, you got a weird joint right there, and the ankles have a lot. They can come forward, they can do all this. You can get crazy ankle pivot. The toe can go down. The foot can actually swivel side to side. So yeah, you got a lot going on right there. One crazy feature that Megatron can do, you can pull this away from his body. Rotate his upper torso. Pull this out and rotate the upper torso around. Come on. Like that. And we can close this. We can rock this up and rotate the legs around. And now he can do that annoying, that crazy goofy attack where he has that in front of him. In fact, let me just try to pose this. And no, you're not crazy. This is one QC issue I'm having. This thing right here comes off. It's just a cover. It's not necessary. It's just to cover this. But that comes off very easily. But yeah, you can replicate that attack the original toy could do. And here it is next to the original toy. There are similarities, but it is definitely changed. Like, this thing doesn't look like the cartoon, which, like I said, the cartoon heavily looked like this. They changed a ton. So this thing looks as much like Armada Megatron as the Spider-Man Far From Home Mysterio looked like Mysterio. You could tell who they are, but there were a lot of differences in their costumes. Like, one thing they definitely changed is this right here. That chest emblem, like, they didn't try to replicate that at all. They just wanted to give you enough to think to yourself, hey, that's Armada Megatron. But they drastically changed everything. One thing I wish they didn't change was this. I don't like crotch skirts or hip skirts. The original toy didn't have it, and like I said, the cartoon didn't have it either. They could have had him just have legs hanging out right there, and we wouldn't have even needed the hip skirts or the skirts over here on that side. But while I'm talking about that, there's this. I want somebody to tell me in the comments. See how these are the reverse of each other, those hips? I can see the screw on this side, but the screw is on the back of the other side. Let me know if I got 2 of the same hips and you didn't. End of the day though, this is a really cool action figure. It is really crazy poseable and has a ton of features, especially in the tank mode. The tank mode is awesome. I love that those treads work. And it's cool that you even get a Minicon and it's compatible with the old Minicons. But my only gripe with it is they changed a ton, and it is not per se what I had in my mind as a masterpiece Armada Megatron. What I had in my mind as a masterpiece Armada Megatron is how he looked on the Atari game that came out on PlayStation 2. And this is drastically different from that. So keep in mind that even though this is a cool action figure, at some point, some company, whether it's official or not, is gonna have the balls enough to make it look like a bigger, more posable version of that, or what we saw in the cartoon. Keep that in mind. Just like they made Perfect Effect made Meg-Tyranno, and then that other company came out with a Transmetal 2 Megatron that looked super cartoon accurate. That's what's gonna happen here. But it's a good figure. I like it. I can recommend it if you want it. Thank you for watching. Until next time, T-Man 978 out of here. feet and how they work. Here is the back of the legs.
Yes. Figure action. That one's me.
Join the Syndicate Toy Hunters Facebook group. Link in the description. Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click